Just for
never,
more
right?
context, though, I did know that they worked with other freelance writers, but most of the articles on their site were written by me.
Yeah.
I'd say like 60 to 70% of them. At
Damn.
least. Like I said, it would be around 3 to 4 per month from me, 1 or 2 maybe from a different writer, and that would come out to about 1 new blog article per week published on their site at best. Typically even a little less because it takes some extra time to actually get it published. And again, this is from the combined effort of me and these other writers. But this time when I checked their blog section of the website, I saw that they had like 4 full-length blog articles all published within 1 week, and obviously none
That's crazy. Wow. They must have hired somebody who's really good.
of them were from me. So it
Wow.
looked like they're just pumping out articles en masse, and they were pretty good quality too. So it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. They literally went from like a few blog posts a month, maybe once a week at best, to like I think 4 in a single week.
Man.
And that's pretty.
How
that's
did
a
that
pretty
happen?
big improvement. And obviously this was coming
Flippy
from
can
AI.
write?
The reason why I know that, even though they didn't specifically say like, oh, we're doing this, is because I was actually warned about it beforehand. I know that.
He told you it was gonna happen. Like, yeah, by the way, like, you know it. Like, everybody knows this is gonna happen. Just like, gonna let you know.
Company has been
Yeah, in
experimenting
case we stop
with
calling
AI
you.
tools for a while now. And what happened was that earlier in the year, they actually told me about it as like a reason to lower my pay. They actually
Smart.
asked me to switch over to creating AI generated articles for a much lower
Yeah.
rate. They were saying like, hey, a lot of companies are using AI now. We were thinking about doing the same,
That's
but we
right.
still want to keep you around, have you as part of the team. But instead, we can just have you be the one generating these AI blog posts with a little bit of
Well,
human
why didn't you do
here and
that?
there, and we'll still pay you, but at a lower rate. And obviously I didn't want to do that. I still wanted to make my money, so I sort of negotiated.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Open
That
your
sucks.
eyes. Reality is but an illusion.
That sucks. He should, dude. Y'all right. Like, he should have been on top of it. Yeah, he should. Yeah, your principal got you kicked. Yeah, well, no, he wanted to make more money because like they were gonna pay him less money. He says, no, I just want to make the same amount of money. I'll keep writing articles, and they said, okay.
At the time, I guess they still needed me, so we just kept the same rate.
Yeah.
See
for my
other
original
magical
articles,
adepts.
and
This
that's
is,
how-
by the way, what a lot of companies are going to do is that they're going to come to these
30 seconds
compromises
before
with
you attack.
employees,
Get ready.
and they're going to compromise with the employees and still pay them regular wages
No more.
until they can
Someday
make
I'd
enough
like to
money
see
and have enough
Telecon.
resources to just get rid of them entirely.
You did?
That's what's going to happen, and then it's going to be like a slow phase out.
was going until recently, but it always was in the back of my mind that they
The
could
battle starts
replace
in
me with
5,
AI at any
4,
time if they really wanted
3,
to. That's just the
2,
nature of the business,
1.
and it's
Yeah.
just hard to compete with AI
Don't get that
nowadays.
vehicle
It's
to
not
its
even like I
destination.
wasn't using any AI to begin with. Like even with my original articles that I'd write, I basically do the rough draft on my
A
own,
nice
but I
deep
still
freeze.
would use like ChatGPT to ask them anything how they polish it out, fix any typos, replace any phrasing that you might think is awkward, or that kind of stuff. So I would start using AI as well. Because
Yeah, sure.
business and talent and made the writing a lot better. If you don't know already, ChatGPT, and especially like the paid version of it, it's extremely powerful to do a lot of stuff. And I've experimented with it, pumping out
Well,
my
I mean, yeah, of course.
You're halfway there. Keep
I mean,
going.
well, he was using AI anyway. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you think about it, I mean, if you're the company, would you have made this decision? Because I'll tell you, I would have. I
must be
absolutely would have.
healed.
No, I think anybody would have.
I am strengthened.
these experiments.
Nothing here.
And it can generate literally entire 1,000-word blog articles within seconds.
That's right.
For free, basically. So it's like something like that. Honestly, I don't blame them for using AI instead of having to pay a decent amount of money.
Yeah, of course.
If I were running a company, I'd probably also do the same
Base.
if I wanted to.
I'm
Maximize
opening
my
a
profits.
portal.
100%.
It sucks, but that's just the way
It's
it
fair.
is. Like in the past, there would be this whole workflow for
shortcut
getting an
to
article
space.
published. I would get an article briefing assigned to me. I would usually finish up a draft, splitting up the work over the course of a few days, maybe like 5 to 6 hours total. Then I would send my draft back to the division. They would send it back to me, saying like, hey, here's some notes that we want you to change. I would make some final edits, and all of that would happen.
Think about how much work that is. Think about how much time that takes the company to do this. Of course they got rid of it. Yeah, absolutely. It's common sense.
About a week long
I can't feel sorry for him when the company warned him and he got complacent. He didn't bother coming up with a contingency plan. This video reeks a pity party for us to feel sorry for him. You snooze, you lose. I don't think he's really looking for pity. I mean, he literally said I would have done the same thing. He's probably just talking about his experience just so other people are aware of it. I mean, I don't think the guy, like, we don't need to pop off and get mad at the guy. Like, I don't think he's, like, really looking for a whole lot of sympathy here. He's just talking about it. Yeah, he's giving his insight. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, obviously, he's, like,
I am
he's
strengthened.
upset with what happened, and I'm sure he appreciates people that commiserate with him. I can empathize and say, like, yeah, that sucks. Easily, that sucks. You lost your job, definitely. Now, you know why. It makes sense why you lost your job. It totally, completely makes sense.
Judge,
But on a
jury,
personal level, of course,
executioner! By the eye of Agamotto!
Again, generate an article, let's just say 80 to 90%
I am
of the
here
quality
to-
of that, but we can do it within seconds, minutes at most, and don't have to pay ChatGPT aside from whatever subscription costs.
That's right.
And it's not even just ChatGPT, by the way. That's just what I use, what most people use. But there's so many different AIs now, some of them
Leave me,
specialized areas.
darkness.
Like, for example, the platform that I was using to write my article was the thing
Good
I
medicine.
don't know, maybe you're also in the freelance writing
Down to
space,
30
you might be
seconds.
familiar with it. It's essentially like a platform where as you write, it helps you keep track of SEO or another important thing. So a certain came out with their own that's also specialized for creating SEO and stuff like that. So yeah, there is a lot of time work from with that. Like if you
Your powers alive! I can't compete with AI.
We'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
It's just going to, like,
match for the
infinitely
Sorcerer
outperform
Supreme.
people.
The current score
Like,
is
it's not even close.
0-0.
Like, you're looking at, like,
Time to switch things
a
up,
person
including
probably
which side you're
cannot
on.
compete at 1% of the efficiency rate as
The right
an
heroes
AI
could make
can
all the
for, like,
difference.
performance
Open
and
your
output.
eyes.
Probably in
Reality
5 or 10
is
years.
but an illusion.
This is just where the world is going, it seems. Like, again, maybe in terms of quality, I can write an article just
People
as
say
good.
not creativity. What do you mean not creativity? Look at how many boring fucking copy pasta games there are already. Like, if you think that AI is outside of creativity, then why the fuck did we get 50 different battle royales? None of those were made with AI, but they were still boring and they were copy pastas to each other. Like, let's be real. I mean, it's like the... This guy's misunderstanding. There are other AIs using existing AI houses like GPT, just wrap them around with some extra services and
coming in 30
GUI. Yeah,
seconds.
sure.
Stay
How many
strong.
creative games have we gotten from AI though? I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, right? I mean, obviously, like, it's still like an early type of technology, so you're probably not going to see a whole lot of it yet.
No.
Really even better, but asking me to do it over the course of a few days and
Yeah.
overall a week versus AI doing it within a few
Be wary of
seconds
this
for
location.
really no
battle
money at
starts
all.
in
It's an
5,
easy choice.
4,
Cat game.
3,
Again,
2,
and nowadays,
1.
if you're in really any industry where
We need to
AI
stop that
is
beat
playing a
with
role, you're not
instructions.
only just competing against like ChatGPT or one specific AI. There's so many different versions nowadays. AIs are competing against each other, making that even better. All of the companies behind them are competing with each other to try to make the best AI.
What a surprise.
They're only gonna become more powerful as we head further and further into the future. So, I don't know, maybe I'm cooked. Maybe we're cooked.
Absolutely. 100%. It's not even a question.
I found one of our better stop that vehicle.
Anybody that can't see that's crazy. Yeah, a lot of these jobs, like, yeah, you're totally going to get, like, for example,
A nice deep
think about how many jobs there were that involved being, like, using a printing press.
Look out behind you.
Well, we don't have 90% of those because most things are done
The
digitally.
moon haunts you.
Shit changes. And it always gets more efficient. Can this even be prevented?
Final score, 0. 2,
So my
1.
opinion is that it can't because global economies cause it to not be possible. So I think that inside of a closed ecosystem, it would be more possible for the United States to prevent this from happening. But the reason why I don't think it will is because you're going to have other countries that have different laws and different morality and ethics systems that will use this tool and then outcompete us in the free market. And I think also you're comparing, and the big problem there is consumer preference. So I think that assuming an equal product, and I think that the reason why people would use AI would be to create a better product. But let's assume that you create an equal product. One was used with AI, one was not. Will an average person be able to perceive a value increase from that? They might be able to, for sure. But I think that in the same way that people aren't really willing to, in a general scale, pay more money for like clothes or things that were made in America rather than like a sweatshop, I think that also people will not choose to consume content that was made by a actual person rather than AI. Like, it definitely exists, but the preference is like extremely weak. How can you stop progress? You can't. Do you think streamers will be replaced with AIs? Well, one already has. I mean, the best female streamer right now is a robot controlled by a man. And so what do you expect? And so this is what's going to happen more. And it comes down to cost. Yeah, it does. And press operation is a skilled position. I'm skilled. Well, what I'm saying is that whether you think that see, this is a big problem that a lot of people have, especially people that are creative. People that are creative and people that like put a lot of, I think, like ego into their work, they get very emotionally attached to the way that that work is perceived and the amount of work that that work takes. And they view that as part of the labor. But the fact is that the customer and the end user doesn't care about that. Like, the end user in most cases doesn't care about how long it took to make something or how much effort went into making it. Now, you do have things that people do care about like that, like Etsy and stuff like that, but it's always the vast minority. The majority of people use things and they just want whatever is best at the best ratio.